you, Barbara.
Welcome back to another week of the Deadlight Society. I'm Michael.
Adam.
And I have COVID this week. I wanted to start with that just in case I sound a little bit funky or if you hear me cough in the background at any point. So I'm getting over COVID and wanted to put that in the very beginning here. So please bear with us this episode. We're going to try and keep it short and sweet just because I sound like shit right now. So...
Thanks a lot, fucking Dorney part.
Yeah, that's honestly probably where I got it from. But I'm surprised that you don't have it then either. But it's all right. It is what it is.
That's because of how I work and like where I work. I fucking get sick every other week, so it's like one of them was bound to be COVID 40 fucking times.
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm all right. Kind of on the downward end of it now, so I'm really not as bad as I was. Really wasn't bad at all, but just sound kind of shitty right now, so just bear with us. But this week we are diving into the brand new Rob Zombie's The Munsters movie. Before we get into anything, do you want to go into horror news first?
I'm going to go into some podcast news first,
Or
actually.
Then go ahead.
But because Michael's a busy-ass fucking bitch anymore.
You're right.
We're going to start getting some guest hosts in here and start doing different spin-off podcasts as well on top of that.
Yeah.
So I got my friend Tyler coming in for an episode coming up. Probably going to get my brother to come do one for now. And then start reaching out to more people and get some more guest hosts on.
Yep.
Get some of their favorite horror movies. I almost said Halloween movies, but I guess that works.
Same thing. Same thing, right? Which, I mean, isn't a bad idea either, to get some fresh new voices in here and kind of broaden the audience.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that was my whole, one of the thought processes about it. I was like, let's get some more perspectives because our fucking two are probably getting annoying to some people, just us ranting and raving about shitty movies.
Possibly, you're right.
It'll give us a set of fresh eyes, see what we're doing, how we can improve the podcast, and everything in between.
Yeah. I mean, you want to go into, the spinoff podcast that you're talking about? And what you're going to do?
I should just announce it, yeah.
Might as well.
But me and Tyler will be doing a spin-off series of the podcast. It's still going to be on the main channel, but it's going to be a spin-off of Stephen King book reviews.
Yeah.
So we're going to start reading and becoming intelligent people and getting back to you on how these books actually are.
Yeah. And I actually think that one's a really good idea because, you can compare them to the movies and see, what the movies did good versus what they really missed the mark on when you compare them to the book. But I'm not a big reader anymore. I used to be, and I've not read, I think I've read a little bit of it, but that's it. I've not read any other Stephen King books. So I think that's a good idea for you two to kind of branch off. And since you guys like that kind of stuff, kind of talk about it and you can compare. And I think it's a good idea.
We are the Deadlight Society, so it is still on brand.
You're right. Especially, Stephen King. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But, I'm a quote-unquote, reader. I'm an audiobook listener. I can't fucking read to save my life, but I can listen to audiobooks any day of the week.
That still counts. It's all right.
Yeah, so this is 48 hours of that, and then, I'm good. Yeah, so that's what's coming up for our podcast. What's coming up for the future. If you don't see Michael, then he's probably off doing his stupid shit.
My stupid shit. I mean, I'm definitely still going to be here and around. That's not I'm not leaving. I'm just going through a lot right now, trying to figure out my fucking life and just don't have as much time as I'd like to spend here. So just trying to bring in some new perspectives, some new people just to kind of, take over my place when I just don't have the time. Basically what the problem is. We want to keep producing content for you and producing better content. And unfortunately, that means kind of me taking not a step back, but in a way, a step back. So I'm still here and still queer. No, Still here.
I was gonna say earlier, I was like, Michael's off doing his gay shit, but I don't want to be like pushing it.
I'm still here. I'm still gonna be around. I'm not going anywhere. We started this together, so I'm definitely not going anywhere. You know what I mean? I'm just, just trying to figure out my shit and get my shit together.
For scheduling purposes, it works better if Michael takes a week off.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out. Like I said, not going anywhere, just changing it up a little bit, getting some new eyes and ears in here, and going from there. But thank you for sticking around, and we hope that we can give you something worth quality, I guess, and get some more interactions and stuff. But
this is also after a very heated debate via text message between me and Michael.
You're right.
Just trying to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I get it. This is what's necessary at the moment, then this is what's necessary at the moment, and hopefully there will be a point where I can hop back in like completely full time and focus more into this. But just of how my life is going,
we can have, and you and me together can have a guest host.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I mean. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere. We're just taking a little bit of a step back and just introducing more eyes and ears. So if you're listening and you would like to be a guest host, definitely reach out to us because we are not opposed to it, especially if you like scary shit and you like to talk about scary shit like we do. Reach out to us because we can potentially have you as a guest host and you can talk with Adam, or even you could talk with me if Adam needs a break sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not something that we're opposed to. So if you want to be a guest voice on here, let us know. Reach out to us.
We also gotta of course, vibe and shit.
Well, yeah, obviously we'll do
for a guest host. It's a little more if we can be friends on the podcast.
Yeah, it'll be a test. We'll do a test first before we're like, oh yeah, hop on in. We gotta. Obviously, that's something that we would do, but still reach out to us if you think that you'd be a good fit and you'd want to, come in on a podcast and just talk about, talk shit. I don't know. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I think, is that really it for that? Is there any other horror news that you wanted to bring up?
Well, that's just podcast news. But yeah, the horror news for this week will be that The Simpsons are releasing 2 Treehouse of Horror specials this year.
Yeah.
One is going to be their normal, just parody episode, Treehouse of Horror. And they're also, this year, doing a full 20-minute parody of Stephen King's It.
Dope.
And it's going to be called Simpsons Not It.
Love that for them.
So we got that coming up. And then we also have a new comedy horror starring David Harbour as Santa murdering people. That's fun.
Yeah, cool.
Called Violent Night.
Violent Night. Oh my god, love that. It's like the Winnie the Pooh. Jesus Christ, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Still can't wait for that.
Yeah. Is that out yet?
I don't know. I think it's soon, if I'm not wrong. I think I saw something a few weeks, the trailer finally dropped for it. So it's probably very, very soon. So keep your eyes and your ears out for that. Probably going to be shit, but I can't wait. Let me see. Is that all then we got for horror news here?
Yep, that's all. It's October and there's not much.
That's fair. Alrighty.
I mean, Halloween releases next week.
Yes, not the 4th. The 14th.
Speaking of that, I've realized what I did that one week when I was like, oh, October 4th is Halloween. And we started that debate about it. I thought it was Overwatch 2 that was releasing on October 4th.
Oh, all right.
So I was like, I got those two confused.
Yep, sure did. That's still so funny to me.
Not Halloween.
When I listened to that back, I was cracking the fuck up because you were so confident. You're like, no, I just saw it, dude. It's October 4th. And I'm like, but I'm looking at it right now and it says October 14th. And you were just
thought they changed it within an hour because they fucked something up in the trailer.
You were just so confident, and I was just like, "You fucking jackass!"
No, it's just combining my fucking hobbies again and confusing shit.
That's fair. I'll give you that. All right. But now this week, like we said, we're diving into the Rob Zombie's The Munsters movie that just came out, released on Netflix. September. Was it September 27th? Is that really when it came out? Initial release. Is that what it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So it just came out.
Netflix and DVD.
Yeah, just came out. And from what I mean, obviously we just watched it, but before we watched it, like all I've seen from this have been bad reviews. Can you say the same? Have you seen good reviews for this?
That's where we differ because I did see some that were like, it's kind of all right.
All right. See, no, I didn't see any.
Like as I was scrolling through like horror pages and stuff, I did see a bunch of people defending it.
That's fair. I mean, I only check out like the Facebook groups and stuff and what they say, but like as soon as it released, like all I seen was people posting like how shitty it was, and that just like don't even bother watching it. Like it's so not close to the original series and like whatever. So I wasn't very, not excited, but I wasn't anticipating a good movie. Like I was just gonna, watch it just to watch it and be like, all right, like, but it's Rob Zombie, you know what I mean? That's where I was kind of more or less like, but if you like Rob Zombie, like you gotta like the movie, right? But I guess not. There's people who have watched other Rob Zombie movies and say they're shit. Like some people don't like his version of the Halloween movies. So, which I mean, I didn't like the second one. I liked the first one though. So I get it.
That's become like the main argument now, I think.
The Halloween
like,
movie
for the most part.
Yeah,
You're
like
right. The first one's alright, second one's just absolute garbage and doesn't deserve to be in existence.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that because I really liked the first one. Like I thought the way he did that was really like intriguing, like to go into more of Michael's background and like kind of tell his story. I liked that a lot. And then the second movie just like completely ruined it. I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, why would you go this route with it? Like,
I don't think people realize really that you have to put Rob Zombie on a leash when he's making shit, because like if a studio doesn't, you get House of a Thousand Corpses.
Fair.
If they do, you get the first Halloween and the Munsters. Like,
yeah. Yeah, so that's it is what it is.
Like, you just gotta rope them in every once in a while.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the Munsters. Like I said, like I'm looking at all these reviews and how shitty it is, and like I just watched it last night actually, and I really didn't think it was that bad. I'm not like a super crazy The Munsters fan. I didn't watch the original series. I'm just aware of what it is and like the characters and stuff like that. But for what it was, I didn't really think it was that bad. It's rated PG. Like, what did people expect coming into this? Is the question.
I don't fucking know. It's like mind-boggling to like think, oh well, it's Rob. Yeah, it's Rob Zombie, but fucking the studio still has an IP to protect.
Yeah,
they're not gonna greenlight a rated R fucking Munsters movie.
No, that's what I mean.
Like,
so like,
still,
it's
gotta fall within their restrictions.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, yes, it's Rob Zombie, but it's rated PG. Like, it's not going to be a crazy fucking movie. Like I'm sure maybe could have if he wanted to, but I'm sure.
For being PG, it's fucking insane. But
that's fair. There's definitely some things in here that were a little bit questionable for a PG movie, but overall, though, I really enjoyed it. I guess we'll get into more in-depth review part 2 here. I don't want to go too crazy into it, but I will go over some of the reviews right now. So Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 48%, IMDb a 4.6 out of 10, and then Google, which always kind of obviously has more likes than anything, 63% liked this movie, which still isn't a lot compared to
it's not a lot, but it's better than a lot of like movies that come out in theaters that people get pissed off at.
Well, that's fair.
Like I've seen so many movies come out recently where it's like 30 and below.
Yeah.
Like a 63, like on Google reviews too. So it's like a 63% for Google reviews is like kind of decent.
It's good enough, I guess, to kind of like make you like okay to watch it, I suppose. But I mean, I was going to watch it regardless. I don't really care about those type of reviews because they're always like, everybody's different as to what they like and don't like. So even if it's like I forget which movie, I think it was House of Wax, if I'm not wrong, like the reviews for that were like in the 20s or something. And like, I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. So it's different for everybody. So, I mean, I'm not really a big like ratings person and like, oh, if the ratings are super low, don't watch it. Like, no, still go watch it. Like it's all right. You got to form your own opinions and don't go just off of ratings. But those are the ratings for it. And like we said, Rob Zombie is the director here. And this is basically like for anybody who's familiar with the original, The Munsters, this is kind of like a prequel story to that series. So it's kind of like, the family of the Munsters, it's their like forming of that family in the series, basically. Like you obviously have the daughter, the son, and their dad in the mansion or whatever in the beginning. Like that's still put together. But it's the meeting of Herman and Lily is basically like this story. Essentially, correct?
Yeah. It's fucking weird though how I put it together.
Elaborate.
Like the cuts throughout this movie are very weird.
That's fair. Yeah, it does kind of just like flip flop. But yeah.
I guess we should talk about when we get into spoilers and stuff more, but we had a discussion before the podcast too that kind of explains it now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. All right, so we can get more into that in a second. But I mean, is there anything else like in the beginning here that you want to say? Like, I know I really enjoyed the color palette of this movie. Like, it's very bright and vibrant, so I really enjoyed that. And I know a lot of like comparisons that we were talking about. Like, people think, oh, it's a Rob Zombie. They're always like a music video. Is that a bad thing necessarily though? No.
That's what I was going to start talking about. Yeah. That's what I was going to save for after spoilers.
Yeah.
But that's like a whole conversation that we had about it is the cuts in this movie kind of remind me of a music video. He just tries to get to the next scene like without like really any explanation.
Yeah.
But for being a kids movie, for being a fucking like as it's a fucking kids movie. It's really not bad. Like,
no.
I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad either. But I think we'll give you the trailer real quick, and like we said, we linked that in the description as well. If you want to go see the trailer, it's streaming on Netflix right now, or you can buy it on DVD.
We might have problems with the trailer because of the music, but if we don't, it'll be there.
All right, so we'll do that. We'll cut real quick, and then we will come back and we'll talk a little bit more in depth. Not crazy in depth, but just kind of like what we liked, disliked, and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that.
Rob Zombie, the director of House of a Thousand Corpses, Halloween, and The Devil's Rejects, brings you the greatest love story ever told.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Think of it. The brain of a super genius transplanted into the body of a perfect physical specimen.
I want a man that makes my blood run cold. A man that every time he enters my crypt, it's like a stake through my dead black heart.
I can whip you up a humpy down in the lamb.
Oh no. Remember what happened last time?
He was battered.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm looking for a vision, a queen, true love.
What exactly do you want?
Is Herman Munster in there? I knew the moment I laid eyes on you that you were special. I understand if you don't feel the same. I'm just a regular gal living a boring, normal life.
If there's one thing I know, is that the rest of the world melted away as soon as you appeared in my life.
It seems Miss Lily is truly in love.
Oh, come on, you know and I know that we gotta get rid of that bozo Herman Munster.
Greetings from Transylvania. That's a strange way of saying hello.
Oh, I guess we're gonna have to get used to it.
And we're back. Part 2.
We're back.
We're back.
Sorry, I just want to interrupt you.
It's okay. Go for it. I know we were kind of talking about some stuff before we cut here, but I guess we can just get right back into that. We were kind of talking about, before we cut, about people comparing this movie to like a music video, because Rob Zombie kind of does that a lot in his movies, or at least that's how people take his movies as more like music videos. But like, I mean, he's also a musician, so like it's okay to kind of have that.
Yeah, he's a musician first before he's a director and writer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess writing music, but that's still different. Like, there's a certain way your brain, like, creates things. Like, if you're specifically, I forget what the word is, like, specifically, like, geared towards a certain skill set, you're going to lean towards that skill set in everything you do. It's just patterns and how humans' minds work.
Yeah.
So saying it works like, or it looks like a music video, or it has a weird color palette that looks like a music video, that's just a compliment to fucking Rob Zombie as an art, like as a musical artist.
Yeah.
That takes nothing away from the fucking movie, like whatsoever. It's just what he fucking does.
Yeah. I know, me personally, I really loved the color palette of this movie. Like, it was all bright and just like nice to look at.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Munsters don't have a color palette besides like whatever we saw in the 90s fucking Munsters Come Home movie. But it's a black and white show. You can go with that whatever you fucking like, and I think it worked out to his favor in this.
I think so too.
Like having all those bright, weird neon colors and stuff, like it worked.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I mean. That's what I was kind of thinking too. Like, you take the original, and there's really nothing to go off of because it was black and white. So it's not like he like deeply disrespected the original. Like, there's no way to really do that unless you were to like. There's no way to do it. There was no color palette. So like him choosing this color palette, I feel was just him using his artistic ability, and I think it worked. And so do you. So we're on the same page there. It was just very bright and like visually appealing. Like, it was easy to watch, and partly due to the color palette, I think. I don't know if you feel the same way.
It's a fucking kids movie.
Yeah.
Expect bright colors. Like, what it helps with child development.
Yeah. That's not, like, it was easy to watch. I know, like, even we did House on Haunted Hill last week, and that's a black and white movie. Like, I know me personally, I don't really like black and white movies. So the fact that, you know, he didn't stick to this original, he could have went with black and white. He sure could have. I mean, it would have been odd because, like, it's 2022. Like, there's not many black and white movies anymore. But, like, he could have if he wanted to really stick to the original and be like, oh, well, you know, the original series was black and white. Like, let me just give you a more traditional, like, I'll just go black and white. No, he took.
Honestly, knowing him, he probably pushed for it, and they were like, "Nah, it has to be color."
It's possible. It's really. I'm not denying that. You know, he could have definitely still made a good movie doing that. I'm just glad that he took the liberty and made this as bright and like beautiful as he did. I appreciated it. It was definitely easy to sit through. And I know personally for me, like, not that I have trouble sitting through movies sometimes, but sometimes it just depends on the plot and like the story and stuff like that. But this one was pretty easy for me to sit through all the way, and like even catch, like, I even caught some of the jokes that you missed, and that's normally not the case. So I think it was easy to sit through, and that was a lot to do with the color palette here. So I'm kind of on the same page as you, but we're different in others' view and this of looking at it as like a music video. Like, even so, it's not a bad take on it in our opinion. So.
No. And I think what people fail to realize, especially with the color palette and everything, is when you have something in black and white that you really like, those colors are up to interpretation, whatever the fuck you want them to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's whatever is in your imagination is what you're now able to put onto the screen as like, oh, this is what I imagined what the Munsters world looked like when I was a kid.
Yep.
Like, cool. That's just part of Rob Zombie then. Like, it's part of his personality showing throughout his film.
Yep.
I want that in a movie. I don't want to fucking see the same old fucking cut and dry studio blockbuster every fucking time. I want to see artist interpretation.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think he did a really good job. So I applaud him for that. For those of you who watched it, you might not feel the same as us, but that's all right. We enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen it, definitely recommend going to see it. Do you want to do like a fair or flop right from the beginning here?
I'd go with like a fear 4 maybe.
Okay. I was thinking about the same. I was going to do like a fear, like 5, like right in the middle. So not fear isn't scary because it's not scary, but a fear isn't just like a good movie.
It gives me the same vibe I get when I watch a bad old 80s like a horror movie where it's like, oh, this is so stupid. It's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And like, it gives me that same feeling while I'm watching it.
I mean, truly, that is really it because like Herman Munster is just like dumb. And it basically, you know, how they play that off is that when he was being created, they had him like they switched the brains. They put the brain of the dummy brother in him, and he's like this comedian, like entertainer, and it works for him, I think. Like I think it makes his character funny. A lot of the dad jokes.
If you like Jeff Goldblum as a person, you need to watch this movie. Herman Munster is literally identical throughout the entire fucking thing to like Jeff Goldblum's real life personality, and it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. When you texted me that after you watched it, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, I guess so. You're right.
Like it's that weird old like jazz fucking still trying to be hip even though you're old, making dad jokes and all this fucking shit. It's so great. I love it.
I mean, yeah, definitely there were points in there that you could definitely see the resemblance, and it was funny once you texted me that is when I kind of really thought about it, and very true. Let me see here. I think another aspect that I really enjoyed from this was the dad jokes. Herman Munster, like I was explaining.
You sounded like you were just fucking like reading off of like an essay that you wrote. Or like you're trying to answer a question for a teacher.
Oh, I mean, kind of.
I really enjoyed about this.
Well, that's how I feel. There's another thing that I enjoyed.
It just felt so scripted coming out of your mouth in that moment.
They're not scripted, we promise. We don't script these. This is kind of just whatever we say is what comes out of our mouth. And that was just something that came out of my mouth. So, sorry. But another thing that I enjoyed about this movie is the dad jokes. Would you say you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Heard them a lot.
And there's also
like a lot of stale comedy too, where it's like not really an outright joke, but it's like, like there's still an obvious joke there. Like the one that I really enjoyed, the doctor who created Herman Munster. He felt like shamed because Herman was an idiot because he used the wrong brain, as one does in the Frankenstein story. And so he left and just like left whatever fucking like colony that they were in, like monster colony. And he comes back and he's like, and Igor, so I guess your time at the leper colony didn't really work out. Half his face is like rotting off. He's like, no, it didn't. Like it's just so fucking funny to me. It's just so stale, but just so dumb.
That's a lot in here, but it's funny though. Like it's stupid but funny, if that makes sense. Which if you watched it, you'll know what we're talking about. There's also some jokes in here that I'm surprised they got away with, like such as they have like a gay joke in here that was hilarious. Like between Igor and Grandpa Munster, when they were talking about when they were moving to California and they're in the mansion yet, and
I just realized something that's fucking hilarious too. Every fucking sidekick character is named Igor.
That's true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Actually, that's very funny. No, but it was between them, and they're getting ready to go to California. And Herman was like, "Well, we're all going, but Igor's not invited. He can't come with." And so Grandpa Munster was gonna make a potion and like turn him into a bat so he can come with, like secretly or whatever. But they're having this conversation between each other, and Igor's like, perhaps I should stay. Like, I noticed Lord Grimsby is canvassing for a new pool boy. And then Grandpa Munster was like, trust me, Grimsby Manor has no pool. And he's like, well, then why would he? And but then he makes the potion or whatever, and then he says, as he gives it to Igor to drink, he's like, bottoms up. And Igor's like, oh, that's what Lord Grimsey said. I was just like, no, they did not. It was so funny, and it just caught me off guard. And then that very next scene, you caught it, the newspaper that they show, and it's like, what was his name? Lord what?
Count Orlok.
There you go, Count Orlok was eaten alive by like the rats or whatever, and it was funny because like in the beginning he's like, what's her name? Lily. Lily's on like a date. They met on a dating site, and she's on a date with him, and he's like showing her all the pictures of his rats, and like, you want to boop Pumpkin's nose? It was just so fucking stupid but funny. And then you see later on in the movie that he was eaten alive. It was just funny. It's just dumb stuff.
The part where he started, like, he turned on the neon lights and started dancing when that game packed from the date, if the tomb is rocking, don't come knocking.
Yeah.
One, how did they get away with that in the fucking PG movie?
That's what I mean. There's
but
definitely
just the way he was dancing and just like his face the whole fucking time was so funny.
Yeah. There's definitely like adult humor in this, and it's nice to see. And it's surprising that they got away with some of that stuff, but it's funny. I don't care what anybody says. This movie was all right.
Yeah, fuck all them kids. This fucking movie was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was nice.
I like this more than Hocus Pocus, actually.
Did you watch the new one yet?
No, not yet.
Gotcha. I just watched it the other day. I thought it was all right. But I'm hearing, again, mixed reviews on that too. So, like, it is what it is, just if you like it or not. But no, I thought this one was definitely cool. There was something else I wanted to say, and I forget now. But maybe we can come back to it if I remember. Is there any other scene in here that you want to, like, take and dive into? Like, something that you want to point out specifically?
No, it's my one complaint about the whole thing is the scenes don't, like, they just move along so fast that it's kind of like cartoony.
Like, no good.
It's like a live action cartoon.
Basically, yeah. Kind of.
But, like, it's just, there's a lot of jump cuts and stuff to like, oh, this happened, and this happened, and this happened.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it leaves, like, a lot to be desired. Like, there's some scenes that, like, you wish to be fucking, like, expanded upon.
Yeah, I feel like that way about the ending. Like, the ending just kind of, like, left you, like, in their new house. And, like, I get it, it's a prequel, like, so then obviously you kind of just know what comes next if you watch the original series, but, like, I just felt like the ending was kind of weird, but still liked the movie regardless.
Yeah, and, like, the whole fucking ham-fisted Lester comes back and gives him the check, and it's like, oh, we actually made a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Like, okay. That's really how you're going to try to explain that?
It's awkward. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The ending was weird, but other than that, I think it was a pretty good movie. So, I mean, definitely recommend it. We both gave it a fear. So, watch it if you haven't. If it's on Netflix, so it's very easily accessible. And it's also, you can buy it on DVD. So, yeah, watch it if you have not.
Which apparently the fucking Wednesday series isn't coming out till fucking November now.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I'm excited for that
November
one, too.
5th. I'm excited for it, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. I mean, it's Burton, so you never fucking know.
You're right. I think that's what I was going to say that I remember now. But, like, I feel like when you come into a movie with very low expectations, it always ends up being better than, like, coming into a movie that everybody's hyping up and you think it's going to be really good, and then it's really not. Like, for example, I went to go see that new Barbarian movie the other week, and, like, everybody was talking so good about it. Like, it's so great, it's so scary, and, like, I went to go see it, and I was just like, I like Bill Skarsgård, and that's really the only, like, plus that I would give that movie.
I also really like the fucking director, considering we still quote it to this fucking day every fucking time we see a certain frame.
Oh yeah, the whitest kid you know. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I understand, but, like, I went in with such high expectations that I think that's kind of what let me down more than anything. Like, if I would have went into that and not, like, people would have been talking shit about it the whole time, maybe I would have liked it. But, like, I expected it so much better, and it was just like, eh. So
I knew what happened for the most part, so like I fully went into it like knowing it's fucking wild.
I didn't know shit, so I went into that.
Like, oh, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I went into that completely blind, which was I felt like a good thing. Like I feel like I would have been like pleasantly surprised, but it wasn't that good to me. And I'm sure a lot of people disagree because a lot of people think that that's really good, and it is what it is. But I didn't really like it. But that's the opposite of this movie right here, The Munsters, because that's like I said, I heard people were saying really bad things about it. That's all the reviews that I was seeing anyway. And then I came into it with low expectations, thinking that I was going to hate it, and I actually didn't mind it too much. I actually kind of enjoyed it. So it's all, it's all based on your own preferences. So even though we're saying that this movie was good and we liked it, you could go watch it right now and think that like complete opposite and be like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, this movie sucks. So it's all, personal opinion. Just, we like it, and that's that, I guess.
Yeah. What did I give it again? Fear 4 or something?
Yeah, I think you were a 4 and I was a 5. So like right there, like in the middle almost.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's a fucking movie. It's fine. It's Rob Zombie.
Yeah, it's PG.
We're Rob Zombie. It's fun.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely.
What can I say on it?
Yeah, I think that's all I have too. So definitely recommend watching it if you haven't. But I think that's going to be it for this week. Try to keep it short and sweet. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, that's everything from your boy.
All right. Then we will be back next week for, I don't know, something. I don't think we decided.
Yeah,
unless you're going to do your
last minute.
Yeah, so something. Surprise.
It might be a new guest host.
Yeah, could be.
And if that's the case, then we're doing Saw 2. And if it's not, then that episode failed epically. And it's all his fault. He's in the room with me right now. And it's all his fault if that's the case. And then me and Michael will just fucking have some random movie. Maybe we can finally do the fucking Blob if you watch that.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll let you know. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yep, that's everything for this week.
Alrighty. Well, see you guys next week, possibly, or whoever's filling in for me.
Hopefully Michael doesn't die.
Yeah, I'm better now. I'm almost done this COVID shit, so it's getting there. I'm better. I survived. I'm alright. It's my second time having it, so I'm alright. Alright, I think that's gonna wrap it up. So see y'all when I see y'all, I guess.